This is DRF, Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Friday, October the 8th. Well, it's opening day of the Keeneland Fall Meeting, so we'll do the feature race. Here's the Grade 1 Alcibiades, 2-year-old fillies going 1 mile and a 16th, potentially a very key prep for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. This is a pretty evenly matched group, Mike. I think you could make a case for 5 or 6 of these horses.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Several horses who I feel like that have been pretty impressive in some of their wins on the way here. And, you know, most of them obviously just stepping up in class here to see how they fit as they try to make their way to the Breeders' Cup. But there are several horses with a lot of potential in here.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. No surprise in a big field of 2-year-olds that we're expecting a fast pace, but 2 of those very impressive winners, maiden winners, Juju's Map, the 1, Matarea, the 7, both trained by Brad Cox, they can get forward.
Yeah, they can. We'll see how the pace plays out. I suppose there's a chance it gets fast early. You know, I don't know how that's necessarily going to play out in here, Dan. We'll see about that. But it certainly could, and I do expect both of those horses, the 2 Cox fillies, to go forward.
Let's watch Juju's Map, second lifetime starter, first race going a route. This is a 1.5 turn mile. And Mike, isn't this the way you like to see him break their maiden, with the jock looking back over his shoulder?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a really impressive win. He never basically, Florent Giroux, who rode this horse, never asked her to run at any point in the race. She got to the front early, was always in charge of this race, and she galloped home in this race without ever having to be set down. She did that, Dan, off of a debut that I thought was a really good performance, too. I mean, I know she lost at 3-5. I thought she ran well that day, and the winner of that race, Control, was really good. I don't know where she's been for trainer Mike McCarthy, but that horse was a really impressive winner.
Very impressive for Juju's Map, though. Statuesque stretch, the comment and the short comment in the form. That might mean one of the reasons why she's 5-2 on the morning line. Misinterpret is the number 2. Got the maiden win 2 starts back, then scored an off-the-turf stake. Let's watch the P.G. Johnson. Now, this was supposed to be a turf route. It was reined off into a 7/8 of a mile sprint. There wasn't a lot of pace up front, so I'm going to give Misinterpret a little extra credit for running these 2 horses down. The third place finisher would come back to win the Miss Griot on her preferred turf surface with a 69 buyer.
She runs fine in here. I actually feel like this filly's run well in all 4 of her starts. 2 of them wins, 2 of them losses. I think she's run well all 4 times. You know, she doesn't have a ton of pedigree to stretch out on the bottom, Dan. That sort of concerns me in a race where it feels like she has to improve to be competitive. But I think she's run fine in all of her starts.
Both the 3 and the 4, well, they finished 4th and 5th in the spin away at Saratoga. Sequist and Dream Lith. Let's start with Sequist, who was a rallying debut winner going 5/8 of a mile at Colonial, and really no problem it being humiliated by Echo Zulu. Echo Zulu's been humiliating everybody. She came back to win the Frisette with a 90 buyer and is on her way to being the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies favorite. Very nice performance for Sequist in her debut, and she might get some pace.
Yeah, I liked her debut. It was going 5 at Colonial, but she overcame a lot to win that race after getting bumped at the start to wind up outrun. She had an alter course in the stretch. She ran really well, I thought, just to win that race. I guess she didn't run quite as well last time, Dan. Just totally outrun early in there. Not that she was ever going to be a factor behind Echo Zulu, but I don't know how much running she actually did in there. I think there are a lot of questions that she has to answer here.
I do think she's going to appreciate stretching out. I think she has enough pedigree, and I think the fast pace could help her. She's not a great gate horse thus far, but I do think there's scope for improvement here for Top Connections. Dream Lith is up next. Debut winner at Saratoga going 6.5. You wouldn't think a filly with this kind of pedigree would pay $74 first time out at Saratoga. Well, she did for Albertino Diodoro, and then just couldn't get to Echo Zulu over that speed-friendly track in the spin away.
Yeah, she was the longest shot on the board when she won her debut. She got a great trip that day with some real hitting going on in front of her. She's had a perfect trip and got the job done. I know she finished behind Sequist last time in the spin away. This is probably the horse that maybe you would want out of that race, if only because just got forced very wide on the turn. And I'm not saying that she was going to be any closer at the finish necessarily, but had to go around a horse who was stopping around that turn there and got forced very wide in that race.
My favorite daughter is in from Southern California. She drops out of the grade one Del Mar debutante where she just didn't do any running behind Grace Adler, who came back and bombed as the big favorite in the Chandelier at Santa Anita. My favorite daughter did win her prior race by 25 lengths over a sloppy off-turf track at Gulfstream Park. I'm still trying to figure out where she fits with these horses.
Yeah, even with that 25 length win showing, it doesn't look like she's going to be that competitive in here, Dan. I mean, none of her 3 dirt starts so far, I don't think, make her that much of a contender.
Mama Rina, the number 6, her only lifetime victory came on turf, but it did come at this 1.16 distance. Her first start on dirt, she was no match for the very impressive Hidden Connection. There was not a lot of pace in that race. Hidden Connection got the jump on everybody. All things considered, I think Mama Rina ran okay to be second. I think she has scope for improvement. She has improved in each and every start. She might get a better pace setup here.
Yeah, she might. I mean, I have no problem with this horse either. I know it was a turf race, but I thought she ran well to win that day. Listen, Hidden Connection, just a really nice 2-year-old so far, Dan. We'll see what she does on the way to the Breeders' Cup, but she earned an 87 buyer winning the Pocahontas.
Juju's Map stablemate Matarea. Let's watch the Godolphin daughter of Pioneer of the Nile. She goes right to the front in this race. She goes off the rail into the stretch, and she's just on her way. This is a nice effort for Matarea, Mike. A 73 buyer is respectable. She has the pedigree to stretch out. She draws outside the other speeds, and I think Joel Rosario is going to have her right up close and in the clear.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those things are true. She was a pretty nice winner of this race. You saw that horse trying to challenge her up the inside there in the stretch, but Mataray was just way too much horse for her. She's going to have to take a step forward here. I don't see why she can't do it. Really nice pedigree she has.
Although still a maiden, distinctly possible as a chance in here, especially if the pace is fast. This is a daughter of Curlin who sold for $670,000 in April. She fell far behind in her debut. Let's watch that race right now. Gerrymander, who will bounce out of this race to run second to Echo Zulu in the Frisette, wins it. Distinctly possible, tries to come the long way around. All things considered, a good second place finish for a horse who's bred to go longer and might get the right setup again.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like she can take a step forward here too. There was a pretty good pace going on here. You can see a bunch of horses are tired at the end as the second and third finishers try to surge up towards the wire there. But distinctly possible did move ahead of Amo Ray, who wound up finishing a close third there, and then came back to run third in the Frisette. So I feel like she did some good things first time out. She's another one, Dan. She's bred, I think, to get better with a little bit more distance.
A horse that should be close to the pace is up next. The 9 Pipeline Girl, debut winner at Churchill Downs. The third place finisher of that race would come back to graduate at Saratoga with a 77 buyer and then ran third in the sorority at Monmouth. They tried her on turf last time out at Kentucky Downs. I thought she worked hard in the early portion of that race to make the lead and understandably tired. She has scope for improvement.
Yeah, she does. I thought her debut win on dirt, that was only going 6 furlongs, but I just thought she was really professional in that race. She did wind up going wide to get clear in the stretch and then finally got up at the end, but just a very professional performance. I think she could take a step forward here.
The horse with the fig is the 10 Penny Saver. 85 buyer returning to dirt last time out and did it at the 1.16 distance. She also was able to make a very easy lead in the early part of that race and drew away to win as pounds the best. Unlikely to make the lead in here. I don't think she needs it. She ran well in her debut, sprinting coming from off of it. And then at Saratoga, she didn't break well, and she passed some horses late in decent field.
Yeah, they tried turf at Saratoga. That was a very fast pace in that race in front of her. I thought she was only okay to be fourth in that race, but maybe she's just not a turf horse, Dan. Back on dirt last time, just the easiest of leads for her as the 3-5 favorite. Had no trouble making the front, in control all the way, but she blew that field out.
Mike Smith takes them out on the 11 Diamond Wow off of this stakes victory and off the turf race at Gulfstream Park. Let's watch Diamond Wow and the Our Dear Peggy. She was able to sit just off the leaders, attacked on the turn, took over the lead, and is too much. 78 buyer speed figure is very respectable, Mike. Now she stretches out off a pair of sprints.
Yeah, she was solid in this race, earned a decent figure in victory. She's 2 for 2 now, has a win on turf, has a win on dirt. This is the female family of Diamond Dupes. It's a lot of sprint on the bottom, Dan, but this filly's made no mistakes so far.
Perfect 2 for 2 on dirt for the 12 Run Up, who scored in a stake last time out at Monmouth. The 2-turn Sorority. Let's watch that race. Run Up was able to just get to the lead, and she got clear early. No one ran with Run Up at 14-1, and she kept right on rolling along. 71 by her speed figure. This is a tough outside post position. You know this filly wants to get forward, Mike. I have a feeling they're just going to send and hope for the best.
I think so too. And it's probably the right plan just to see what happens. She's been impressive winning her 2 starts. I don't know that she's necessarily beating, very good fields. And the runner up in that race, who had also run well in her prior start, they tried her in the Frizette and she got beat a million lengths.
Top pick time for the Alcibiades. Mike, you're going down to the inside. Juju's map. Folks, go on those formulator past performances. Watch that replay again. It doesn't get easier than that.
It does, and she was impressive. I think she's actually run well in both of her starts, Dan. And she's bred to stretch out. I mean, she has a distance pedigree, so I'm not worried about them stretching out. I'm not, I don't think I'd be thrilled to take a short price on her. I just like both of her races so far.
Same exact different order. I'm going with Penny Saver, who has the win at the mile in a 16th, and I think is versatile enough to rate off of the pace. She already has the Fig, the 85, although she did get an easy lead in that race. Might have to do it a different way on Friday. Opening day at Keeneland. The features the Grade 1 Alcibiades. Best of luck.